we're going to talk about gifts a little bit, and the first thing is I'm not responsible for anything. So it's the same. I've talked about this before. This is pretty much the same disclaimer. And the other thing that we talked about is availability. Is I can't guarantee that these things are available. They're just things that I picked up from various sources and thought they were interesting, and sort of compiled them. And then we can go through them, and this is really a discussion type of presentation. This really isn't pedagogical or pedagogical, whatever that right word is. Couple of groups: under 50, under 100, under 200, over 200, and then the usual cast of characters at the end. So jumping in. So what I can do is I can walk down these a little bit, and I got to make it bigger for me. We still okay?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I just made it bigger on my screen so that I could actually read it. I can walk through some of these and describe them as best as I remember. If somebody has interest in them and wants to know more, these are all links, so we can just open up the link and go there quickly and look at the items and understand more about it. Cell phone jail was sort of a cutesy thing. It was, I think it was some sort of a plastic or maybe metal device that looked like a jail with some sort of lock on it, and you put your cell phone in there. I don't know why somebody wants to do that, but for $12 you can get a jail for your cell phone. The multi-angle cushion tablet and iPad stand is pretty self-explanatory. Instead of being a rigid stand for an iPad, it's a cushion stand, and it may give you a little better support if you want to look at something in bed or on a non-flat surface. Nightlight Bluetooth speaker is that. It's a small speaker that acts as a nightlight as well. The leather AirPods case cover. AirPods come in a little plastic case, and covers are pretty popular. And so this is a leather case for them for $17. Amazon Smart Plug, we start to get into the smart house type of technology. And these are devices you can plug into an outlet that you have, and it hooks up to your Wi-Fi and allows you to control devices without having fancy wiring in the house, so that you can plug a device, a standard lamp, into it, for example, and you can go to Alexa and say, turn on the living room lamp, and it goes on. There are two things here. There's a Tilemate Finder and down a couple Apple AirTag, and they're pretty much the same technology. Maybe one is better than the other. I can't speak to that. But they're devices that you put on something that you care about where it is, so that if you lose it, it's like Find My Phone. You can locate where the device is and see what's going on. And I don't know if I have it.
Do you know what the range is on that, on the Tile Finder? How far? Do you know what the range is on a Tile Finder?
Let's find out.
And they may be different between the Apple system and the other system.
Let's see if I have this. Do I?
I have a Tile Finder unit, and I should have had it before I lost my expensive car keys. But it really does work.
Let's see if this is the right window.
Ironically, your keys can find your car.
No, that's the wrong window.
Yes.
I can't find where the window is.
That's all right.
Doing a quick search on Amazon, I see that they're ranging from around $50 to $70.
Oops.
I just meant how far. I'm looking for something that you can put in a bicycle, in the pole of a bicycle, for a grandson, and then if the bike is stolen, you can find it. But I don't think that exists. That's like a low jack, but I don't think they have it for bicycles.
I would
Well,
think you're not. I would
these-
think you're not going to be able to find one that allows you to put it inside the metal pipe, because I think that would attenuate any radio signal.
Oh,
Yep, that's going to be a problem. And the other thing
Okay.
is you could put it below the seat, but all you're gonna do is be able to find the seat because seats usually come off.
Yeah.
The thing about the Apple AirTags that I think is different than the other versions of this is that they tap into some sort of worldwide Apple infrastructure that allows, if I understand this right, allows the AirTag to contact a local Apple machine, which then relays where it is, as opposed to having to everything be coming from the tag itself.
You could be
I-
right, Harry. I don't know. I'm having trouble with these links, so what?
that's okay. Never mind.
Smart tiles are around 150 feet. And if you used the Amazon mesh network that they're setting up, that can cover a whole neighborhood, but only because it's mesh.
Mhm.
In other words, it uses multiple sources to detect in your neighborhood, and then they all go back to a central, to your central dashboard. But if you have individual ones, their maximum range is about 150 feet. Apple may
All right.
be slightly less.
So much for that. So I'm going to apologize in advance. Let's see what's, oh, control click. Well, maybe that was what the problem was. There we go. Sorry. All right. So now,
But you have to change your share.
yeah,
I believe that might be the Alt key if you're on a PC. Yeah.
yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, tracker.
So there we go.
Okay, thanks. Okay,
So I don't know if it says anything about range.
Find nearby 200 feet.
okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. We solved that issue too. So that was 2 stones with 1 bird. All right. Distressed Inspired Wi-Fi tee. That's literally what it says. Is a t-shirt for $25 from Distressed Inspired. I don't know if that's a brand that people like or don't like, whatever it is. But it's a t-shirt. The digital counting money jar is a technical piggy bank. As you put the coins in, it recognizes the coin and it tells you how much money is in the piggy bank. Except when you take money out, it doesn't subtract. But it does that. We talked about the AirTag. The Mophie battery case is that I don't remember. So let's take a quick look. Okay, so that's an extra battery that goes onto your phone. So it gives you extended life. So if you're going someplace where you think you can use a lot of battery and you're not sure what's going on, it gives you a safety net. I can't share 2 things, can I? I'm not sharing 2
Not
things.
Not at once, as far as I know, unless you share your whole desktop.
Yeah, no, because the share screen said I was sharing 2 things, which is a lie.
Oh, well. We can talk about that as we talk about the tech.
There we go, a little bit. The bedside smartphone vase is a little different. Very attractive if you're into that sort of thing. Looks like it's a QI charger with flowers that are not included. Uh, Tile
What
Pro
happens if you
Finder is-
water your phone with that?
It keeps them, it keeps it running.
Does
longer
it grow?
because-
Does it grow?
Yeah, it does. It does. Tile Pro Finder is yet another tile device. And if you're interested in the tile devices, probably the best thing to do is Google them, and you'll find a whole bunch of different ones, and you can look at the various features and functions of each of them in terms of what kind of bang for the buck you get. I believe they all basically work the same way. Amazon Fire steaming device, the $35. It's a Fire Stick. I think Roku has one that's about the same price. And I don't know if does Apple have a stick also that you can put in the HDMI port of your TV?
No,
Anybody
Apple
know?
TV is not a streaming stick.
Okay, so there's at least two of them: the Roku and Apple Fire, and I think they're competitively priced. Anchor Power Bank is another power supply, which is like the one that we saw before. It was similar to that.
If you were sharing a screen of a picture of it, we didn't see it. Saw a black box.
No, I didn't, because it was just another extra battery for a phone.
Got it.
The stroller hook power bank, and I think there's another thing down here. Charging cord bracelet are both similar devices. Basically, it's a small cord with a small battery in it, so that from either a stroller hook where you can you hook something on a stroller if you have a baby, or a bracelet you can wear if your phone runs down. You have a small amount of emergency power to get you through whatever you need to get through. Hercules Tough Charging Station is what it says. It's a charging station with for your devices. Something technical but not so technical is electric toothbrush. So we're into the $45 range. We got a flash drive for $46. Sony Extra Bass portable speaker, same price. Amazon Echo Dot. Amazon has Echoes at all different price points, so the Dot is $50, and you can look at that. It's interesting if you're not into the Amazon Echoes, the Amazon system yet. It's an interesting piece of technology. Here's old new tech, a 3-speed record player with built-in speakers. So that's if you're into vinyl, there's something for you there. Laser star projector for $50. We talked about the charging cord bracelet. The Amazon Fire 7 tablet is $50, and 3D Create and printing pen. I think that was worth looking at. So it's a pen that lets you doodle with some sort of plastic. So it's sort of like a roll your own 3D printer.
It's like a glue gun.
Sure seems like it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's
As
interesting.
I said, this is a judgment-free zone.
That'd be good for frosting your cakes.
Exactly.
With plastic.
With plastic. Well, if it's the right color, it doesn't make any difference. Ask a little kid. Just a sanity check.
We're eating a lot of plastics now anyhow.
There we go. Is this going okay? People comfortable with this process going back and forth? Yes, no? Crickets. Good. Okay. Philips wake up light. It's an alarm that slowly goes. Light slowly goes on and in the morning when you get to the your alarm time, so it's sort of like waking you up gently. A phone charger. We have here, this is a smart water bottle. I don't know why it's like people like it's smart, but it is. And there we go.
It tracks your water intake
Yeah,
Like a-
there we go.
like a Fitbit.
And it glows to remind you to stay hydrated. So if you need to be reminded, you're good. Another version of the Echo Dot, a little more money. There's a whole bunch of them. The Bluetooth speaker for 65 bucks. The Fujifilm camera is $69. If you have a canine friend, this is sort of interesting, although not something that I cared for my dog, but that's me. It rolls around, keeps your dog crazy. Oh, works for cats too, so I suppose you can put some catnip in there or something like that. A neckband Bluetooth speaker, Ifixit Tech Toolkit, just a whole bunch of tools for various tech things with the funny screws and all those things. A mesh Wi-Fi router is $79, and I believe at $79 you just get one system. You get one unit. You need to buy a bunch of them to cover a house and stuff like that. That's not a whole environment. So this is a wireless charger and cleaner all in one for your phone. So if you're germ phobic, it's a way to keep your phone clean. This is another version of a similar device. GoCube Smart Rubik's Cube. Is just electronic take on the same thing.
Does it solve itself?
Not clear. It says, learn how to solve the iconic puzzle. So it may tell you when you're doing something wrong. This probably has electric shock if you do something wrong, so it's good.
It explains in the description how it does it.
Yeah. Go
But
ahead.
I agree. The shock method is a good one.
Yeah, I think so. For 80 bucks, you get a Nintendo Switch if you're into gaming. And at 80 bucks, you start to get some smart lights. Philips Hue has a bunch of light bulbs. This is an A19. Has a bunch of light bulbs for various sizes that fit standard bases. And they have a little technology built into it, and you can control them through your home network. Oh, the 3D Create came up again. All right, my bad. We've talked about the second one before, the Sprocket printer. That's the business card size printer. It's maybe 3x5. I think Steve has one. I have one, and all that good stuff. And they're fun. It's almost a party trick type thing, but it's interesting and useful if you need that. For 90 bucks, you can get a outdoor movie projector. A mini coffee maker for in the 90s. Here's a pet tracker, which is probably a tag that goes onto your dog collar. That works the same thing. Another self-cleaning water bottle, another fancy water bottle.
Regards to that
Uh,
location pec tracker, Cindy, you might be able to use that to track the kid.
I was thinking exactly that. I'll stick it on the bike.
Well, let's see what we have.
Put it on the dog and the bike.
Does it say anything about using to find your kids? I don't think so.
Nope.
Well, the question again is how good is the range? Oh,
Yeah.
this one goes up to 3,000 miles because it's using GPS
Yeah,
Oh,
and it uses LTEM, which means
Yeah.
it's using cell network and you have to have a cell plan.
that's
Huh.
a whistle subscription is the part they don't tell you about. And I don't know how much a whistle
Yeah.
subscription. Oh, here it is.
$10 a month.
Hey, Cindy,
Imagine putting that on your suitcase.
oh, a
Yeah.
tech-savvy kid will wrap it in aluminum foil. Defeat it.
oh. This is like a low jack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Same kind of thing. So we have another wireless speaker. We have a photo printer again. It's a little different. People into drones. This is sort of an entry level one. And they say it's for kids, which is the right thing for it. For $100, you don't want to have it getting destroyed, as opposed to $1,000 for a really fancy one.
And what are the physical dimensions? Do they list?
Let's see if they do.
Somewhere they show, oh, it's big.
Yeah. Depending on the size of the kid, right?
If they're above a certain size, there are some FAA rules now. But I don't think you need to be licensed.
No, I don't think so either. But if it gets much bigger, it's going to pick the kid up with it. So you may or may not want to do that.
They'll start their own package delivery business. Oh, they also showed one that is smaller.
Yeah. So I don't know what the deal is with this. This looks like it's considerably smaller than the other one because it's even indoors.
The picture that you showed was misleading because it shows the device very close to you and they're very much in the background.
Right. When
Way to go, Steve.
they show it in their hand, you get the actual comparison. So it's only a few inches.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's a more realistic picture.
Yeah,
There-
hand
there is an-
sized.
There you
Or
go.
even-
There's another one like that too.
Hand sized.
There we
So
go.
it's safe for indoors.
Oh, here we
Apparently.
go. Towards the bottom, it's about 4 by 3.5 by 1.5.
Okay.
Geez, that's all.
Yeah. Watch out for birds. They tend to attack them.
If you go down to consumer drones comparison on the Amazon page, you'll see that it's very small. About the size of a 3x5 card. Jeez.
Smart Garden, I think, is it's a planter that has some UV lights on it and some other things that enhance the growth of indoor plants. And some technology about being whether you need to water it, not water it, things like that. I think I have more than one of these different sizes. The temperature control smart mug, it has a way of keeping your beverage warm at the temperature that you want. And the old gimbal stabilizer here, we can look at that. Everybody needs a gimbal stabilizer. I don't know if Harry's on, but this is this is useful if you want to do some video and you want something that looks like a handy cam from that they have in professional videos, where it stays stable as you move around and it doesn't shake as your body naturally shakes, and you try to keep things separate, keep things steady.
I was hoping that it would be something to prevent us from falling down.
Say that again, Mike. I didn't hear you.
I was hoping that the gimbal stabilizer would be something that would prevent old folks from falling down.
Well, that's the advanced version. You hire a guy named Bob Gimbal, and he walks with you.
What we need is an invention that attaches balloons to the side of your body with a helium container. And like whether the bag that shoots off in the car when you get into an accident expands with the helium and lifts you up when it sees that you're starting to fall.
That's right, with an accelerometer in it so that it knows when you're
Right.
falling, and that it automatically deploys and it picks you back up again.
And then when you call for help, you'll be calling with a high voice.
Exactly. People will hear you because high frequencies travel less. Whatever that means. All right. Where am I here? I'm over here. Okay, this isn't worth looking at. It's just a box with a spinning heart on it that lets you put messages in there. It's probably good for kids. There's a Fitbit. It's a $100 range. A Bose speaker is similar range. Amazon Pencil. It's a scribe for the touch devices that you can write on. It's in the Amazon ecosystem. Your beer fan. It's you do your thing. So you put your beer can in here. That's weird. Oh, just give you sizes. All that stuff. So I don't know how big it is, but it doesn't look like it's that big. Here's somebody's hand. Where was I? The physics. There we go. Echo buds are like Apple earbuds, different vendor. Don't know anything about the quality. Google Nest Cam is the Nest camera, which is now part of Google. A wireless charger. Beats headphones. Yet another printer, small printer. Polaroid one-step Bluetooth instant camera. I'm not sure what the Bluetooth is with this. Oh, probably it might go to a printer. I know people have interest in Polaroid products, so let's take a look at that. I don't understand the Bluetooth side of it.
Bluetooth would allow remote control of it.
There we go. So welcome to supply chain.
Yeah, it might connect up to your phone for that.
Yeah. In stock soon. There we go. So let's hope soon means before the holidays if you're interested. Belkin wireless charging dock, there's a K missing there. Another smart light from Philips. And we'll look at the dog camera just for chucks. So I believe what this does is it lets you look at your dog and see your dog and all that stuff and remotely pop out a treat. So when you're not home, you can have the a view of your pet, and you can give them treats as you wish, especially if they're not chewing the couch. And we're under $200 here, so an Apple TV. We talked a little bit about that earlier. Another smart toothbrush, if you will. A Ring doorbell. By the way, if somebody's really interested in any of these things, just yell. We can go take a look at them. A pocket projector. So it's another portable projector. There's a body massage, a Bluetooth speaker, larger size of the travel mug we talked about before. Here's a more expensive drone, a little bit bigger, more expensive. Nintendo gaming device. This is kind of interesting, I thought. A little bit different. So it's basically a speaker inside the glass frame. So it's sort of Google Glass without getting into the whole IR thing, VR thing.
Have you noticed there are ads from Lens Crafters that they're bringing back that Google Glass with the camera built in?
There we
They've
go.
got their own brand from Luxottica.
There we go.
A little over $200 though.
Interesting stuff. So AirPods, Nest thermostat, and yet another Fitbit. Different price points. And now we start to get in the more expensive stuff here. Some Sonos speakers. Piece of luggage, sort of on the high-tech side. I think among other things, it has a charger at right. So when TSA opens it, the whole thing is ruined.
Is a lithium battery driving the charger? Is that safe in storage
Can you go
on an
back?
airplane?
Because it's carry-on. You
Show,
can
show
carry
when
on
he
a lithium
pushes.
battery. You just
Show what
can't put it.
happens when she pushes the button and it pops out. Can you let that video go a little bit?
It looked like it was just,
Back-
oh yeah, it
back that
does
one.
pop out. That's removable.
Yeah, so that's a removable battery. But Cindy, to your point, lithiums can't be transported as baggage in the bottom of the aircraft. You can take lithium with you in the passenger compartment.
Thanks.
So having a fire break out in the passenger compartment is fine, huh?
Yeah, yeah, the crew is trained for that.
It has happened to cell
It
phones.
has, yeah.
Where was I? Oh, that was the luggage, yeah. So here we are with the AirPods again, Bose Sleep Buds. And basically, in my opinion, all these things at different price points, they are generally indicative of quality, but at the same time, it isn't necessarily. Some of it is just you're buying the brand. So as you can see, AirPods and Sleep Buds, these things, all different price points, and you have to do a little investigation to see where you feel comfortable, if you're interested in that. Another version of the Amazon Echo, a cordless vacuum cleaner, a GoPro camera, a muscle massager here, Bose headphones, noise canceling. These are the over-the-year ones. I actually have a pair of these and I enjoy them. Braun electric razor, Chromebook, a cocktail machine.
Yeah, why don't you show that? That looks weird.
Yeah, I figured somebody might be interested in that one.
It was like the coffee house stuff. You know?
So here's the secret to the sauce. Cocktail capsules sold separately.
We don't
Not
see
sure
it, right?
yet.
We don't see it yet.
Nope.
Oh, pardon me. I'll go through the iterations again. There we go. It's a razor blade deal, boys and girls. So it's the Keurig machine for cocktails.
Oh, now I look at the name, Bartesian. Okay.
Right. Could be somebody's name, but
I
it's,
know, that's what I thought.
don't know. Another projector that we talked about earlier. A mini iPad. Apple is $400. And moving on up the series, got an Apple Watch, Oculus VR. Remind me, who is that? A Google company, Oculus?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be too. Ice and Air Wrap Complete Styler. I believe that's a hairstyling product. Another projector on the more expensive side. And then from the little bit of research I did on projectors, again, it's you're paying for quality and the number of lumens that are being pushed out. So the less expensive ones are good in a very dark room and perhaps a small room. The more expensive ones, you can start thinking about Gillette Stadium. Not quite.
Peter,
but-
getting back to Oculus, that is owned by Facebook.
Facebook, thank you. Thank you. And then rounding out the products, the iPad Pro. And these are the references to for what I used. Basically, I compiled the gifts from these places, these sites. They're hot links in the presentation, and if you care to go back and you can look at them, you can look at many reviews associated with each one of these items. And is that all I have? I think that's all I have. So I'm going to, how do I stop share here? Here it is. come back to real life.
Okay, now I think we have, Bob, I think you wanted to talk about a keyboard. I'm not sure if I have something I can show, and I'm not sure if anybody else has something they can talk about as possible gift. Unmute yourself and why don't you get started, Bob?
Well, the way this started was that Amazon made a goof up, and I ended up by going beyond their delivery window, and they sent me a replacement of something, and I had a giveaway that I posted. What I basically have is, and I'll show you on my desktop. This is my secondary camera, which is not the world's greatest. I think if people want to see me bigger, I would have to get the focus, but if you want to do speaker view, that would show a little better. But anyway, it's a backlighted RGB mechanical keyboard, which is programmable. And now I would like to be able to share my screen if that is possible, because this is not going to be the right thing right away. I'm going to get back to that. This is, can people see my illustration?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is a Red Dragon Sarara keyboard. And Red Dragon is a fairly decent gamer brand. This is not the top of the line that they have. And a mechanical keyboard actually has physical switches in it. And so it is, I want to do something with my camera. Oh, well, do that later. Oh, here we are. There. Now we've got me and my keyboard. Okay, so mechanical keyboards are favored by gamers and some of the rest of us for two reasons. One, they last longer before the keys wear out. And two, they give a tactile feedback, which many of us still like to have instead of those mushy chiclet keys that you get on laptops and Chromebooks. And the programmable part of this is that if I get, you have the tilde key up here, and then between the Alt and what would be the right-hand Windows key, you have a special function key. Those act together in order to allow you to program each key for what color you want it to be. And it will retain that between reboots. There is software which only works on Windows and Apple, and it really doesn't work very well, that would allow you to do more advanced programming. And there are several built-in things, like there's this rainbow that they seem to like everybody to have. And there's also animation that they can do where the rainbow sweeps across, or like when I'm firing up my computer, the default is that it has a little runner that runs around like a Hollywood chaser in dark blue, and then it ends up lighting up the keyboard the way I like it. I like a zoned effect, and I think they may not have zoned there. So what I want to do is switch my camera view, and I'm going to stop sharing for a little while. I'm going to go back and share one more thing, but if you can see when I hold it up toward the camera this way, the top keys are one color. The keypad, the numeric keypad, if I can stop the glare there, the numeric keypad is kind of a red color, and the QWERTY keys are green. And these are the various zones that I have set up. Function keys are amber, which doesn't show up too well on my cam. And the switches are what are known as cherry mechanical switches. And cherry switches have the property that there's a puller tool that comes with the keyboard, and you can actually switch keys. There are different kinds of cherry keys. I'm going to minimize you guys for a moment. There are different kinds of cherry keys. And the ones that are available for my keyboard are the cherry red, the cherry brown, and the cherry blue. And they have different features. And these are interchangeable on my keyboard. So the cherry red is usually favored by people who want to compromise between what the blue and the brown will do. The brown gives a nice tactile feedback, and the blue is clicky for people who are used to traditional typewriters. Let me get you guys there. Okay, so that's what you can do with this keyboard. And let me unshare. And has anybody else had any experience with mechanical keyboards? By the way, in terms of price, this one's only $43.
Can I ask you, so different of those replaceable keys, they have their own tactile feel?
If you did replace them, you could have a different mix of different switches. So they will have their own feel.
And which keys do you have?
I have the red, which is the compromise. It's relatively quiet. It has good feedback. And instead of going clicky, clicky, it just goes tick, 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 tick.
And does it have a long throw to it, or is it sort of medium throw? You know, you have to really go way down or not?
The page I illustrated has an exact number for it. It says what the actuation point is, the operating force, and the total travel distance. Total travel distance seems to be in the neighborhood of 4 millimeters for these guys. You can get fancier ones that have other travel distances, but they may not be fully interchangeable with this particular keyboard.
How would that match against a standard keyboard like I have attached to my PC?
Okay. Here's the difference. If you have I'm going to put an
I have a
explanatory note in here.
Microsoft keyboard, is just a good keyboard.
If you have a chiclet or a regular electronic keyboard, it's not going to have very much travel. Or if it does have travel, it's not going to have the feedback of springing back on you and letting your fingers know that they've actually hit something. So there's a tendency to repeat keys or to miss keys. And mechanical keyboards reduce that tendency. Both gamers and typists or programmers have a real issue with missing or duplicating keystrokes.
So you don't find that you have to push down too far?
No, it does take some getting used to, because you do have to do some push, which you don't have to do on chiclet keys. And
I'm not sure what you mean by
keys.
chiclet keys. I have a standard Microsoft keyboard.
Okay. Chiclet keys are the ones that are totally flat that you
No, I
find
don't
on
mean
laptops
that.
and
No,
Chromebooks.
I don't mean that. I mean just the ordinary commercial keyboard.
Yeah. Different ones have different feels to them. Microsoft makes a good one.
They all have different feels. I agree. They all are different. Yeah, that's my one. I'm trying to, but this looks like a really good keyboard.
Yeah, it has a relatively strong tactile feedback with most of the types of switches you could use. And you really know when you have typed, but you do have to push a little the way a conventional typist would do. It's not the way somebody who's gotten a little lazy and is used to just tap, 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 tapping, or an on-screen keyboard. That makes you really lazy and makes your fingers weak. So the disadvantage is you can actually miss keystrokes, or if you do push too hard, you get a double or triple or multiple stroke. And that's why mechanical keyboards are favored by people who are used to actually doing the pushing and feeling the feedback. And that would
what
include,
would my standard Microsoft keyboard be? Would that be mechanical or
no,
electrical?
most likely it's electronic, and it's a standard keyboard. If it doesn't say mechanical, it isn't. Mechanical keyboards normally are over $100 and upward. This particular one, the Red Dragon Serrara, is only $43 at Amazon plus shipping. So it's a far less expensive, but I think it's a fairly decent keyboard. It's not professional quality. It's not like you're going to be a pro gamer with it, but it's pretty darn good for the price.
I might interject something in here quick about this. I have Prime, and I see that if I order by 11:15, I can have it tomorrow, and it has free returns. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, it's $42.99 with a $3 coupon that you can apply, so it'll be $40. So if, Jerry, you're interested in getting this, you can try it. It has free
I'll have to go
returns.
now because I've only got a few minutes.
That's right. Or else you get it on Friday,
Yeah.
Tomorrow it'll be $36.
That's right. Hey, Bob, just remind me, I may have missed it or I didn't understand it. When you said mechanical keyboard, can you help me what that means in terms of any other keyboard that I may have used?
There's actually a physical mechanism inside each key of a mechanical keyboard. It's called a switch. Your Microsoft keyboards will have a single backplate, which the key has to make contact with. So instead of a contact, you've got an entire switch, and that gives a whole different feel to it. Like I say,
think
most
I
people
understand.
who
So
are
how do you
used to it,
feel this is for typing just words? Because I do a lot of typing.
I would get either the brown or blue switches. The blue switches have a nice clicky clacky feedback. So with the cherry blue, which is another option with this keyboard, just choose that option if you like doing traditional typing and you like hearing it. Otherwise, if you don't want to hear it, use the brown. It will give the same tactile key feedback, but it's quiet. The red is both quiet and smooth.
So if you get the keyboard, you can't change from one flavor to another, so to speak.
Yes,
They
you
are
can.
products.
There is a puller included, and you can just buy yourself a set of switches. The switches aren't all that expensive, but they do cost.
Yeah.
And you can just buy replacement switches, and you have a puller, and there are also better pullers available from like Ifixit and other places. But there are gaming places that have nice pullers, and you just pull it and put in a new switch. It's
If
not
the switch breaks, you put in a new one.
Yeah, they can wear out after like 80,000 presses or maybe 20,000 in some cases. But if it ever does wear out, or if it breaks, or if something else happens to it that doesn't damage the underlying circuitry, yeah, just pull it and replace it. If
That
it gets
doesn't help
mushy,
me. That lasts about an hour and a half when I type.
I think you'll find this particular kind of keyboard will last much longer.
There was a joke there, Bob.
I know, but I was calling you out on it.
Touche.
But the fact of the matter is, these are favored for exactly that reason. A regular keyboard, somebody who has a traditional typist's touch, which is kind of hard for, say, the Microsoft keyboard, they will turn it to mush in a very short time.
And Jerry, if you're concerned about the fact that you only have till 11:15, if you want the brown or the blue switch versions, you have 10 hours and 45 minutes to place your order and get it.
Okay, I feel so much better.
Yes, you have some time to ponder this.
See, they're promoting the red, but you don't have to buy the red. But I'll tell you, gamers probably will want to buy the red.
Good.
And like I say, this is not the really fancy kind of keyboard that costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
There we go. Thanks, Bob. Steve, you had a little show and tell?
Yes, I recently bought a new device that, whoops, wrong thing, that I found to be quite a bit of fun to use. Advanced extra camera. Let's see if I can get the right camera here. Yes, and what you see is not the pencil, and you don't see the other devices, but it's this particular one right here. If I can zoom in on it, this is a device that lets me, that doesn't appear to be working, that lets me measure distance to things with a laser beam. For instance, you can see there's a laser. Oh, no, it's not hot. But if you go like this, it's thinking, and then you push the button, it tells me that whatever it was looking at, and I can see with the laser, it's 2 feet 4 inches away. How is this useful? Well, we're thinking about
inches, feet. Oh my God.
Well, you want something else? You want meters, centimeters? You can switch the units. I've chosen feet, and it's going from the back of the unit, or else I can have it go from the front of the unit. It says it right here, front or back of the unit. So now if I do a read, it's now 2 feet 11 inches. And if I choose the back, 3 feet 4. That's about the width of this thing. It's rather nice. It's convenient pair of AA batteries, not too expensive. I got it for around $22, $23, something like that, and found it very useful. We're thinking about doing some work around the house. We wanted to map out the house, and the way we ended up doing that was to use this. Okay, it's 11 feet and it's 10 feet 4 inches. Be able to measure out the distances in both directions.
Oh, what does it measure? A phase distance? A phase shift?
It's hard to say. On this side here, it has a lens and it shoots out a laser beam. Let's see. You can't, you can see the laser beam. I don't want to do it too long.
If I'm asking what it measures, I just assume is the phase difference when it bounces back.
It vibrates the laser. So the laser is solid. When you push the reed, it flickers a little bit. And it must be something of that sort. Yes.
Time delay, propagation delay.
Yeah.
You know the speed of light, so it's propagation delay.
Yeah, here, if I go like this, you can see the distance, the laser there, and it told me that I was 1 foot 7 inches away from it.
That's
These things all
speed of
measure
light
time.
is 30 nanoseconds to a foot.
Yeah, these things all measure time.
That's rather good for a little.
And they can do
instrument.
nanoseconds?
Oh, sure.
I mean, this has got to be a fraction of a nanosecond. Well, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. A nanosecond would be a 30th of a foot.
Wow.
Now, this can do other things too, because it can also measure area. So you take a length and a width, and it'll tell you what the square footage, if you want that, or square meters, whatever you choose. Then you can do 3 measures, horizontal, vertical, and the orthogonal, and you can measure the volume. It can also do Pythagorean, so that if you see a tree up there, you can shoot the laser to the top of the tree and shoot the laser to the bottom of the tree, and it'll tell you how tall it is.
Does it do astronomical units so you can see how far Mars is?
Yes.
And it doesn't go as far as Mars. It does go up to the moon and a little bit beyond. No, it doesn't. It only works for 150 feet or so. There's a
Hey,
more
Steve.
expensive model that goes about twice the distance. Yeah.
But what it's worth, in Home Depot, they have this guy, which is very similar. And I think it's around the same price point, so you don't have to go online, but you can
Okay.
go check it out.
Yeah,
What-
and by the way, these are known as phase range finders. They do operate by phase, not time. When I was doing the talk about Notre Dame and measuring it, those are very longer, much longer distances, and they have a much smaller margin of error that they want. And they have an algorithm in the machine that determines time.
Right, so I think as we learn, if you use a higher frequency wavelength, you can get more precise measurements because the time between waves is much less. So therefore, you know what's going on.
But you
Just
need a
like
much more
time.
complex. You need a much more complex algorithm when you do that
Yeah. but-
than with
but
phase.
with light waves, the wavelength is so short that it doesn't make any difference to you.
Here we go. All right. I'm just reading this guy and it says sonic laser tape. So this may actually, the laser may be useful on this for pointing to, so no, you know what you're pointing at, but it may actually use a sound wave to, sonar to determine distances.
There
So-
are those things. I had one of those one time. It used to go click and tell me the distance. But that won't work in a room that's very bright because the clicks come from all different directions and it might get confused. While with a laser, it's pointing at it, you see exactly what it's measuring the distance to. I was able to measure last night. Doesn't work well in the day, but at night I was just able to measure how far away my other houses were.
Yeah, this has a laser associated with it
Okay.
so I have a red dot that shows me what I'm pointing to. But the actual distance measurement may be sonic. I don't know. It's just, we can Google it, we can find out, but it's not important. But it's just a different tool. They're around, so that if you're interested in that kind of tool, they certainly have them in the big box stores.
Yeah, now Wikipedia says the most common laser range finders do use time of flight.
Just for the information, this is the device that I bought.
All right, everybody, have a good week. We'll see you next week.